Hi there, welcome to day 10, and today I met with my Bible study ladies again this morning, and I'm going to send a funny picture with this because I actually did it while I was getting my hair done today. So you're going to see me all gooped up and getting my hair washed, but we had a really good time doing that. So I thought that I would share some of the things that we talked about. What did we like? We liked the chapter heading. In my Bible says that the verses 25 through 34 are the cure for anxiety. I don't usually like the chapter headings all the time, but in this case, I really do. If we pay close attention to these verses, God gives us the cure for our anxiety, and that is seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Okay, what did we not like about the passage? Well, one of the ladies said how much she's gotten wrong. She hates how much she's gotten wrong, trying to do the right thing and still getting it wrong. And so that was what we kind of arrived at, that by bypassing our time with Him each day, we are bypassing our help in working out the things we're so anxious about. We rush into fixing the things that make us anxious and the things that make us worry, and in so doing, we miss Him doing His work in all the things that we're anxious about. It says in verse 32, for He knows that you need all these things. Seek first His kingdom and all of His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. What do these verses say about God? Well, we just started pulling out what the verses actually say. In verse 32, it says that He knows all that we need. It also says that we are so valuable to Him. It says that He will provide all for us. He wants to relieve us from the burdens of tomorrow and keeping us from worrying about the burdens of tomorrow. And so in worrying about the burdens for tomorrow before they happen, we compound the actual problems that we end up having because we worry about things that may never happen. And so He wants to relieve us of that. Also, we love verse 22, maybe even more than all of it, at least as importantly, that He wants to make our whole body full of light by cleaning out our eyes, by clearing our eyes. And I love that we could be filled with light by God. What does this chapter say about man? Well, a couple things really stood out to us. One, we worry too much about tomorrow and don't stay in the moment with God, seeking Him for what we need for today. And two, that we tend to be mastered by things, especially material things like money, and they become our master and we serve them. Paul in 1 Corinthians 6 says, I will not be mastered by anything. He resolved not to be mastered by anything. And so that's what we can do as human beings too. As we seek first His kingdom, we don't have to be mastered by anything. How do we apply this to us? Well, for us, we decided that so much of this begins with our mind. And, naturally things will come into our lives that will make us anxious or will make us concerned. And that's not sinful. It's what we do with it that ends up being a problem. So if we are ruled by our worrisome, anxious thoughts, and we continue to look ahead to tomorrow and the days after and just allow those things to pile up on our minds, then we are what he is saying in verse 30, men of little faith. But a person of faith will face something difficult and then do what Christ said, seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. And in so doing, He will provide all these things for us. We'll be able to see what He provides for our needs and not miss them, but try to work out our own problems. Also, again, we thought that we would make a list of all that Jesus says to do and not do in this chapter. He's untwisting some of our misunderstandings about God. He is helping us to see the correct path. And sometimes we need to weed out our old habits in order to be able to see how to walk and make good habits. And so making a list might be helpful. Who are we going to tell? Well, I know there are a lot of people that have bookshelves full of how to handle their anxiety. And you can go into Barnes & Noble and there's probably a whole section dealing with anxiety. If we get this, if we really understand and seek God every day with this, we can be filled with light instead of dark that the scripture says that we are, in focusing on our worries and our problems and mastering or having masters like money and other material things, we can actually help others know and understand and find and lead them to their cure for their anxiety, which is God and salvation in Him. Thank you so much for being with us again today. I hope you enjoyed the pictures. They're really funny. And I'll see you tomorrow.